Welcome back.
Before we play that bump, I wanted to ask y'all, who's a person in your life that technology just seems to go wrong whenever they touch it? Like, it's the most like normal stuff. You're like, that should just work. But for some reason, in the hands of this person, it just disintegrates into technological abyss of not working. I'll give you my example. My sister, one time, is that person for me. One time she handed me her phone, her iPhone. This was like, maybe the iPhone 4 or 5 or something like that. She's like, yeah, every now and then it's kind of like it hangs up calls and I can't hear people and stuff like that. And I said, oh, really? So I looked at it. Everything seemed normal, totally fine. I handed it back to her. And this phone literally like glitched and blue screened on her. Like it suddenly just went and like the screen went black and then it jittered. And I said, I have never in my life seen an iPhone.
She got tech ghosts living in her hands.
I was like,
no, my dad is a poor guy. I mean, he grew up in a world without technology like we have, and I mean, all this stuff came along while I was growing up, so I'm kind of behind on a lot of it. But poor guy, is just lost, and I feel him when he comes to us for help with things. He doesn't really want the help. He wants to be able to do it himself. But he's like, how do I get my emails on my new laptop? Like, you go to your email account on the internet and just open it up. It's not on your laptop.
Call your email company.
Yeah, like when Trey had the battery problem a couple weeks ago, Trey had that junk fixed in a night. My dad showed me his laptop and the keys are all swollen up. And I told him, you got to get rid of this right now. Yeah. You got to go buy a new laptop and get rid of this laptop. He still has the laptop sitting on the kitchen table in their house.
It's going to explode.
I keep telling him, like, Dad, this is dangerous.
You don't need to get rid of you don't need to get rid of the laptop, but you do have to take the battery out.
You got to rip that battery out, dude. That battery is about to explode. One like false, like a hard enter on that keyboard, it's going to go. Trust me. I worked at Geek Squad for 2 years. I've seen it happen. Trey, anyone in your life who's like that right now, or is that?
It's usually me.
I love the honesty. I love the honesty.
Thank you for that honesty.
That's class act right there. That is class act.
Yeah, like I don't know, we'll be doing something like at work. Like the other day, we were in surgery, and we use a.
Oh God, I don't want to know this.
It's called an Apollo, and it's basically a burner that you use arthroscopically to like remove tissue and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there's foot pedals for it. And my doc is like, hit the foot pedal. And I'm like, yep. And he's like, hit the foot pedal. And I'm like, uh-huh. And he's like, you're hitting it? And I'm like, no, the stomping you're hearing is because I'm not hitting it. And he looked at me and I'm like, sorry. And he's like, it's okay. And they go and they get another pedal and it doesn't work. And then the rep comes over and steps on it and it starts working. And I looked at the rep and I went, fuck you. Like, I was so upset. I was like, I don't want to be here. I want to go home.
You stopping over there? Or are you setting the beat? No, this is a Mumford & Son contest. Like,
I was just sitting there like, Doc, you want to operate to this beat today? Or
that's the bass pedal that we carry around with us at all times.
Can I ask you a very, very personal, but in the spirit of your honesty, Trey? Sure. So, out of all of this, out of all of us, I mean, you're the most like advanced in terms of to be in the medical field is a huge step. It's huge. However, we're also human beings. My question is, you have to be sanitary. My understanding is that when you're going into surgery, there's very specific rules about where you keep your hands, what you touch, how you put things on, how you wash, how you scrub. How many times, how often have you suffered from itchy ass? And it's like mid-surgery.
I think that's one of the reasons that they keep the operating room so cold is because like you don't get histamine response in the cold, so you don't like get itchy. It's not your ass as much, but you want to touch your face. Like,
oh really? Okay.
Yeah, like my nose.
I can see that.
I
never thought of that.
And the worst is when you're in a knee replacement because we're in like these hazmat suits basically. So like you can touch your face in the hazmat suit because it's sterile, but you have to like poke this thing like into your face and like The worst is when you sneeze in the hazmat suit because you can't cover your mouth.
No.
So you're just, and then shit all over. You can't see. And then, no, I've had
Trey's famous for needing to
like
rub
this.
his nose
Yeah.
super hard all
Constantly.
the time.
Yeah. I figured out what it was, by the way. So that's good. I had because I have a deviated septum, one of my nostrils gets drier than the other. And I saw, we treat a ear, nose, and throat doctor, and he's like, yeah, it's because your nostrils dry. So you're doing this to stimulate your mucus response. And once it kicks in, but then it stops and you have to do it again. He's like, you have to fix it if you want it to stop. And I was like, I don't really feel like having surgery. I'll just scratch my nose. It's fine. I'll just scratch my nose. It's okay.
I remember when Trey was a kid, he would be just going to town, and then his nose would start bleeding. He's like, "Why is my nose always bleeding?" I'm like, "Probably because you just punched yourself in the face like 100 times."
Oh man, in Virginia was so bad when the air was like super dry. Like I would just be walking around and get a nosebleed. And my boss one time, full well knowing I was fine because we get drug tested by the NCAA. Like we used to get drug tested basically. He's like, dude, are you doing cocaine on weekends and not telling me? Because I'll do it with you.
No, it's like not to like correct you or anything like
that.
No,
not to ruin your good time.
Yeah, why aren't you inviting me over? I do remember one time we were like playing Halo way back in the day, and it was like Halo 3 or something like that. We're playing co-op, and you kept going, and like we had just won or something like that. And I look over at you, full blood nose, like down your chin, and you're like, I need to go to the bathroom. I was like, yeah, I think so, bro.
No, you gotta win the match first.
Yeah,
you can't sell out the team.
You committed. No, you definitely
no I in team.
Unless you're playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 with my brother's old online friends, then I could have just spun in a circle.
You could have gone to sleep. We
just
still
your character goes takes a nap.
41 games in a row.
Basically, the rules in surgery are if it's blue and you're not sterile, don't touch it. Like because all
blue
the
and you're not
sterile are blue, and then your hands have to stay between your belly button and your collarbone. They have to.
Oh man,
because your face isn't sterile, but your gown is, and then so you can stand like with your hands. Well, what a lot of people do when they're waiting for the doc is they'll grab the front of their gown and kind of stand like this. You can sit as long as you keep your hands in the right place, and then,
it's really comfortable.
And then if you touch something that's not sterile, usually you're wearing 2 pairs of gloves, so you just have to change the top pair of gloves.
It's good to know. It's good to know. Well, welcome back to another
6 minutes.
Welcome back to another episode of Nostalgia Land. Thank you for joining us. I'm Matt, Trey, and Tyler. Always today we're doing. I'm all three at all times. Wow. You guys are figments of my imagination.
Wow.
And I'm figments of yours.
It's like Jack Sparrow and whatever the third one's.
The
World's End when he's in Davy Jones' Locker.
Oh yeah. Those whatever. Anyways, welcome back. Today we're doing 1987's The Princess Bride, an amazing, amazing film. Didn't it
just get put back in theaters for a little while?
I think it did. Yes, I saw it.
Oh man, I would have gone to that. That'd have been cool.
Fathom, is that the right one?
Something like that.
One of the same.
They're the ones that like puts them back out, right? Like
they do
put them
those
out for like
releases.
a weekend or a day or something like that.
But before we get started, let's hear that bump. Oh man. So something kind of fun. I actually met with one of the developers of the Riverside program, which is what we use to record these episodes. Fantastic program. It's all online. It's web browser based, and it's super easy for guests to join. But one of the things I asked, is it coming, is can we have any options where I can play audio straight from my computer? Like if I wanted to play this piano right next to me, like sound effects or whatever, can that be streamed in? Is that possible? And he was like, it's coming. Don't worry. That's coming. And so soon enough, I'll be able to be like, dun, 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 or have different, like all kinds of on this MIDI keyboard I got next to me. But yeah, man, welcome back. Thank you for joining us. Super excited about this one. Like we said, it is A Princess Bride, or The Princess Bride, by Rob Reiner in 1987. Can't say enough good things about this
Yeah, it's one
movie.
of my favorite movies of all time.
It's so freaking good. And I have to share with you guys a moment as a father I had that I was so proud of. Such a definitive, like, oh my God, okay, yes, we're going in the right direction as a parent. Um, so my daughters, both of them got kind of stomach bugs last week, and they stayed home from school. My older one was like, "Can we watch movies?" And I'm like, "Totally, let's watch movies." And so we all sat down and we put on like Labyrinth and Dark Crystal. She's like, "I've seen these," and I was like, "Okay, cool, let's do Princess Bride." And now she's just 10, just kind of on that like that edge. It's something super you look forward to, Trey, with your little one there, with Gigi. And she sat down, she watched the whole thing, and then she's like, "Can we watch it again?" And she also then asked me, "Why don't movies look like this anymore?" She's
Yeah.
like, "'Cause this is old, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, this is like 80." I wasn't sure at the moment. I was like 86, 87, something like that. And she was like, "Why don't movies look like this anymore?" So every filmmaker, any person who might pass by and watch this episode, love of God, let's go backwards. I think if Stranger Things has proven anything, and I think if how well this movie holds up, that my 10-year-old in the year 2026 is like, hell yeah, I love the look, the feel, the story of this film. Let's make them like this again. Because it is honestly it is such a great representation of what I would say a perfect script to watch, to listen, to study, to understand how they set up these pacing, how they set up these characters. But yeah, let's jump into it, man. 1980s. What do you guys? I mean, I know you love this movie, but I mean, out of all of them, favorite moments, favorite key things. What do you love? What do you want to? What do you want to share about us? What do you want to tell us? So, Ty, what did you find?
That's tough. I mean, there's so many in this movie that are just incredible. Some of the really funny moments are behind the scenes things that I found out in doing my research. One of my favorites was when Billy Crystal appears as the what's his name? Ma- Max. It's
Miracle Max.
Miracle
Miracle
Max.
Max.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
when he appears as Miracle Max and he's ad-libbing basically all of his lines. He's improvising everything he's doing. The Everyone was laughing so hard on the set that they had to bring in a like a dummy for Carrie Ellis who plays Westley because he couldn't stop laughing. They had to remove Rob Reiner from the set
The
and he
director.
had to direct digitally from a screen because he couldn't stop laughing. And Mandy Patinkin, who plays Indigo,
Yes.
bruised his ribs
Niego.
from laughing so hard and trying not to laugh and forcing himself and holding back the laughter. So that was one of the big injuries from the set was from Billy Crystal almost cracking Mandy Patinkin in laughter during that scene. So I thought that was really interesting and funny that just him rambling and running his mouth constantly was cracking them up so hard.
His whole bit of like, good luck storming the castle. Bye.
It's everything. It's everything. He's just so good at it. Like that's such a perfect character. And that I was talking to a guy in my office about how good this movie is, and I said that's part of it is the casting in this movie. There's not a character that feels out of place, that feels wrong. Um, Everybody fits so well into what they're doing and the what they're trying to portray and the way they speak from Andre the Giant to the guy that the inconceivable
Oh, Wallace Shawn.
yeah what's his name in the movie though
Vicini.
Vicini yeah gosh I can't remember I can't believe I'm getting old boys having trouble remembering names from a movie I literally just watched
I got
for like
the
the third
Alzheimer's.
time in 2 days. Don't put that evil on me.
No, don't put that in, Ricky Bobby. Don't do that. Sorry.
Yeah, there's so many and Carrie Ellis broke his toe uh behind when
Really?
riding on Andre the Giant's four-wheeler or three-wheeler I think it might have been. But
Yeah.
Andre was in such rough shape because this is late in Andre's life. He died in '91, I think it was, and so he was already really hurting from his years of wrestling and his acromegaly,
Yeah, acrobat.
acromegaly, which made him so large. His pituitary problem.
Yeah.
Um, his back was in such bad shape that he couldn't do a lot of what they wanted him to do in this movie. But
Doctor said he
he
needed a backiotomy.
yeah, he had the three-wheeler that he would ride around on, and he asked Carrie if he wanted to ride it. He said sure. He rode it around, and he ended up breaking his big toe. And this was at a time where small productions, they didn't wait for you to heal; they had to move along, so they would get rid of you and bring in some other actor. Which I don't know if they would have done that if he had told them straight up. They probably would have worked around it because he was so perfect for this role.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the fight scene still had to be filmed. That this movie kind of hinges on that. It's such a great scene with him and Mandy Patinkin and their fencing. But yeah, you could see it in some of the scenes once you know it's there. Him limping, him favoring his one foot more than the other because that sucks. You break your big toe, like
That
you're in
sucks.
trouble.
Yeah. Yeah. Trey, out of all the lines that we quote, what's like your favorite go-to one?
I like the part where Inigo has the what do they call him? The six-fingered man.
Yes.
When he has it, not when he's doing the whole, like, everybody remembers that my name is Inigo Montoya, you killed my father, prepare to die. But I like the part where he actually has him beat and he's like, offer me money.
Oh,
Like, I give you
yeah.
money. He's like,
Yes.
offer me power. And he's like, everything I have and more. He goes, offer me anything I ask for. He goes, anything you ask for. And he says, I want my father back, you son of a bitch. And he runs him through with the sword. That's probably my favorite line of the entire movie.
We literally just played it today. My kids, I told them what movie I was watching again. They're like, "Oh, can we put it on?" I'm like, "Yes, we can," because it's a great, like, oh, we're working, dinner's being made, whatever. You put it on, and it's just anytime you look up to just pay attention to it, it's such a fun, movie to check out. And that was the one where you're like, "Oh, he's like," my daughter was like, "That's a bad word," and I was like, it's appropriate word for that.
And
movie.
then my other favorite thing is just how positive Andre's character, how positive Andre's character is throughout the whole movie. Like, you shook your head. That's so good.
Yeah.
I also thought this was so funny because my wife Sarah pointed out, she was like, "Do you like?" Because I have kind of that for a while, just I mean, completely open positivity about everything. Because she's like, "Did you watch this movie a lot when I was a kid?" I was like, "Yeah, I did." Because she's like, "That sounds like you when Carrie Ells tells Princess Buttercup when they're going into the forest, into the fire swamp, excuse me."
Yeah.
And she's like, "We'll never survive." And he goes, "Nonsense. You're just saying that because no one ever has." And my wife Sarah was like, "That sounds exactly like you when I'm trying to describe, like, maybe we should be moderately concerned about something." And I was like, "Yeah, you're right." So it's like toxic positivity. It happens.
Yeah.
Well, oh my gosh, dude. Well, we should start off because it does start with Fred Savage, who is, just a staple of the 80s and 90s. Starts out with Fred Savage. He's sick. He's in bed, which I didn't realize this is a Christmas movie.
Because there's a Santa in the background. Is that why you're saying that?
Yes, there's a
on
Santa.
his closet door. There's a Santa Claus. You don't know that, dude. This kid is a kid. He could just leave Santa up all year.
No. It's not just that. Out the window, there's one scene where like the camera kind of is pointing towards out the window, and it's a painted background, but there's Christmas lights on the other houses, and it's snowing. And I was
he's
like,
from
holy
Chicago,
shit.
and if you don't know, they're gonna let you know because he's got the fridge on the wall. He's got Chicago Bears vest on. He's got Cubs stuff plastered all over his room.
Yeah, he's got
playing the baseball game on like Atari or Nintendo.
Yeah, what baseball game was that?
I don't know, but it's one of those baseball games where like where you back in the day they couldn't do where they would switch to somebody and you could move that player around. So when you move, like your whole team moved, and it's like, oh, this sucks. I don't like.
Oh yeah, so annoying back in the day. Oh boy.
It's called Hardball. It came on the Commodore 64 computer.
Yeah, the Commodore
There's
64
no
is
way he's
really
playing Commodore
neato.
64 though, because he's using a freaking controller and that
It's
music.
using the Atari 2600 joystick. Joystick is what it is. And it says they were added in post-production the 8-bit rendition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game, which is what we hear in this.
Yeah, when the opening credits are. Well, he's
The opening
sick.
Yeah,
credits,
this is his.
Grandpa's gonna come read to you because you're sick.
Mm-hmm. And he's gonna pinch my cheeks. You don't know. Maybe he won't. First thing he does, pinch his cheeks.
Bam.
It's
And
Peter
his
Falk.
grandfather's like Italian.
Hey, it's Peter Falk. He's Columbo. Let me ask you one more question. Sorry, I'm trying to get his lazy eye situation going, but he's so perfect for this role, especially the way that he opens the door. Like he kind of falls through the door, like poof, hey.
He opens the door like the WB frog. Like he has like the cane and he's like, hey.
Hello, my baby.
Yeah, he's
Hello, my honey.
Ragtime girl.
Yeah.
That's funny because I think this was Fred Savage's first thing that he did.
It's got him the Wonder Years.
Yeah, this was
Really?
his kind of. I think that's what Rob Reiner said in an interview. It may have just been, him misremembering, but that was one of the interviews that I saw. Seems like late. Seems like it's late in his career for him to start doing
this.
It's the
first thing in his IMDb.
There you go. I guess I guess so.
No, the boy who could fly.
Oh
that's
man! Wow, the boy who could fly.
Yeah, it's.
Oh man, I remember that movie.
That's the year before this.
Who's the star of The Boy Who Could Fly? Oh wow, this face is Nick Castle.
Yeah, it's a weird movie, but Travis and I used to watch that all the time.
Oh man, we're on it, dude. We're gonna watch that one. Oh, it's on YouTube. It's up there. We're going for it.
It's on YouTube.
Hang on to your shorts, because it's coming. Yeah, but Fred Savage in this is perfect. So
there was a big fight about whether they were going to keep the fact that it was the grandfather reading a story to his grandson. A lot of studios, especially if you tried to film this or get this movie made nowadays, they would get rid of that in a second. It would just be the story without the whole grandfather and the son or the grandson,
sick kid and the whole thing.
I think is weird as a fan and as a movie watcher, because I don't understand the problem with that. It's a fantasy story, and people. I saw a lot of stuff online too about people trying to place the time and when this happened in history. And all I could think when seeing all this stuff is, why do you care? It's a fantasy novel. It's not happening in real life in the real world. This is a story that somebody wrote.
Why do you care?
Yeah.
What I want to know is how descriptive is this grandpa being with because you get this big long sword fight between the Dread Pirate Roberts and Diego Montoya. Like, how do you know? Because what does the grandpa say? Like, they had a sword fight, and then it's like, hold on, grandpa, I'm just picturing this.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Super
go on.
Descriptive sword fight.
That used to happen to me when I was younger.
Right.
When I would read Harry Potter before the movies came out, I had what they were supposed to look like in my head, and the movie came out, and I'm like, "That's not what you look like.
Mm-hmm.
You look different in my head."
And I was
it
like,
really
whoa,
helped
whoa,
me
whoa.
that I watched the Harry Potter movies before I went back and read the books. So I had all the characters in my head from the movie.
Yeah. And Trey, I had your experience, and I was like, whoa. Hermione Granger is not this good looking. Where is the weird looking one? Oh, she's getting hotter. Oh my God. What is happening? My teenage boyhood. I'm in love with her. Okay. The way they describe him in the book. But I think it's interesting how Rob Reiner, rest in peace. My God, what a tragic way for him to be ended in this world.
Dear Lord, yeah.
God, dude. Anyways, but Rob Reiner, I wonder if since it starts with him playing this video game, that was Rob Reiner's commentary of okay, here's him, this kid going into the digital era that we would call, of the late 80s into the 90s, of having home video game systems more available to us. And now here's this dad coming into this old thing. I mean, his grandfather coming in and being like, yes, in our day, we had television and we called them books. Here we go. And it's Columbo. It's Peter Falk being the best, sassy Peter Falk, because there's other points in the movie that I loved where Fred Savage says something along the lines where he's like, Grandpa, this is like, but he's going to be this there or something. I can't remember the line exactly, but I remember the way Peter Falk responds to him, which I was like, that's perfect, because I remember my granddad.
Oh, it's when I know what you're talking about.
Humperdinck.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
when
like,
it looks like Humperdinck wins.
Humperdinck?
Yeah.
And he's like, he has to die. And he's like, no, he gets away with it.
No,
He's
he
like,
lives.
that's not fair. And he says, who says life is fair? Where's that written down?
No, it was somewhere. It's some of the part where Fred Savage is like, he points something out, and like Peter Falk goes, "Yes, you're very smart. Now shut up."
No, it's right after that when you figure out that it's a dream, and he's like, "See, I told you." He's like, "Yeah, you're very smart.
Yes, you're
Be
very
quiet."
smart. You're very smart. Now shut up. He says, "Shut up." He tells Fred Savage, "Now shut up." Which I love. It's perfect for Peter Falk.
Swear to God, I'm gonna go get you, mother.
I'm gonna get your mother. You're not gonna get out of this bed for a week. I'm taking away the tiki tikis. I'm taking that away from you. The video game tiki tikis is going away. Peter Falk as the granddad, I think, creates such heart, such warmth in his voice, such like, I don't know, there's so much approachability to him and his character and the way that he just presents himself. Like, he is someone I would want to sit down and hear a story from. And I think there's something missing. Again, like we talk about this like today, like how would you make this movie today, which I think would be an injustice, don't get me wrong. But if you had to make it, can you think of anyone who could sit down and have that kind of
Morgan
warmth,
Freeman.
that kind of like grandpa, like Morgan Freeman? Yeah, maybe even like an old Tim Robbins might be in there. Now that you got me on the Shawshank thread, thinking maybe Tim Robbins or the guy who played Red. No, that wouldn't be right. I don't think he's around anymore. Anyways, yeah. So Fred Savage
Red.
is
That's
sick.
Morgan Freeman.
Oh
Morgan
no.
Freeman's
Forrest
Red.
was right. I'm talking about the bird guy. Oh jeez.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Was here. What's it? Milt? No. Whatever.
No, it's
It'll come
hard.
to me.
You didn't.
You know who else could do it? Is give me a second. I don't think of his name. Patrick Warburton, the guy who plays Kronk.
The Giska.
Oh, okay. We're gonna
Poison specifically. Giska.
Bader. Hey, Bader, can I borrow your egg? Bader, can I borrow your egg?
Bader. It's go time. Yeah,
No,
maybe
you're talking about Brooks. Brooks was here. That's his name.
Brooks. Yes,
he
thank
does
you.
the intro for Soren. When you go to Disney World, you ride Soren. He's like, "Hey, passengers, we're gonna buckle those seatbelts." And then there's one where like the kid takes off his mouse ears and like puts it under his chair, and he goes, "Nice job, pal." It's like, yeah.
Let me tell you about Inigo Montoya. He's out there. He's gonna avenge his father. Prepare to die. It is a great fight in Sword Fiend. I think, yeah, you know what? I would watch a new Princess Bride with oh God, you just lost his name. Patrick Warburton. Yes, I totally would watch a new with Patrick. But an adult, like a fully adult Fred Savage, like he did with Deadpool. You see that scene where like Deadpool and Ryan Reynolds and Fred Savage recreated their scenes from this movie in the bed. He's like telling him to spend time. I was like, yeah, this would be perfect. Let's do this. Let's just make this movie.
Seth MacFarlane
fighting about Nickelback.
Yeah,
but Seth MacFarlane would just do the whole, like he would do everybody. Like he would do the voice of Humperdinck, and he would do, yeah,
Humperdinck.
Humiliations galore.
So, I don't know if you want to run through the plot real fast.
Well, it comes in with them with the starting the story with which the only problem that I really have with any of this movie is her name being Buttercup. It's such a crappy
it's
name.
Like a Mel Brooks movie. Like it's like it's like Men in Tights. If you change anything to Buttercup,
it kind of is like a parody kind of
a Robin Hood kind of.
Yeah, it's this weird comedy like overlay of this movie, but there's so much seriousness and depth to it at the same time that it is, but it isn't. But the Buttercup thing really throws me off every time. Where she's, especially when Humperdinck is like Princess Buttercup, I'm like, oh, it just takes the gravitas out of this whole situation that her name is Buttercup, like butterstuff, butternuts. All I can think of is half baked.
Butter.
Yeah, you haven't seen Half Baked?
Yeah. If
Oh
you're
man,
gonna
I
like
haven't seen Half
speedrun
Baked
the
in years.
if you're
The
gonna
horse's name is
speedrun the
Buttercup.
plot, Fred Savage is sick at home from school, and
Yeah.
the grandfather comes over to basically to watch him for the day, and he wraps up this book and gives it to him, and he's super like, "Oh, you got me a book?" And he's like, "Yeah, I got you a book. Like, sit down, and I'm gonna read you the book because when I was sick, my dad would read it to me, and I read it to your dad. So you're gonna." And so it's about Buttercup, as Tyler said, who's a commoner in Florin, right? Florin,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Florin.
yeah.
That's right.
And she likes Wesley, who's her farmhand, and anytime she would ask him to do something, he would just say "as you wish," which becomes a big thing later in the movie. But he can't afford to get married to her, so he leaves and presumably is killed by the dread pirate Roberts, who when he um
And when he
takes
attacks a ship,
captive,
he
he
leaves no
doesn't leave anybody
survivors.
alive. He kills everybody. So she thinks he's
Right.
dead. Well, then the prince, Humperdinck, has the right to pick anybody in the kingdom to be his wife. So he picks Buttercup and hires Vizzini, who then hires Inigo and
Fezzik.
Andre's character,
Physics.
Fezzik, to kill his new fiance so he can blame it on
Gilder.
the Gilder, which is like right across the sea from them, so he can start a war. He's basically just trying to expand his kingdom.
It's politics.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, yeah.
politics. I mean, he just wants to start a war so that he can take land,
Yeah,
and the
and
easiest way to do it is to kill this beautiful woman, Robin Wright, who plays Buttercup, and
dump her
in the
body
middle of
in. Yeah.
their plan, they these are some of the best moments in the movie is when you first meet Vincini, Fezzik, and Indigo, and they
Yeah.
take Buttercup and they take her to
On
the
the
ship
boat.
and they're going across the sea and there's the whole rhyming thing with Fezzik and Indigo and Fazzini is getting so pissed off at them for rhyming and it ends
Stop
with
rhyming.
no more rhyming, I mean it, and then you get the famous does anybody want a peanut, like so well delivered. All of and that was one of the things that
Anybody
Rob
want a
Reiner talked
peanut?
about in the interview that I saw with him, where he said that of everybody, Andre's experience in the ring, being a wrestler, always acting and portraying a character, everything was so natural. Nothing felt forced with him. His lines kind of fell out of him like it was just him acting this way. This is how he would be. And it really comes across like he seems like this giant, super positive, kind of simple, super loving, sweet kind of guy who also beats the hell out of a lot of people. And they kind of talk about it because he's always on the brute squad and everything.
You are the Blue Squad.
Yeah, but you have Indigo looking back as they're going across the sea, and Finzini keeps asking him, what are you doing? And he's just making sure nobody's following us. And he says, nobody from Gilder knows what we've done, and nobody from Florin would be able to catch up to us this quickly. So what are you doing? And he says, oh, just checking. And then they keep talking, and basically they're explaining the plot at this point of what's happened and why they have taken Buttercup. Uh, and then he looks back and says, there's nobody following us. He says, that's weird because before when I look back, there was no one, and now when I look back, there's someone there. And what? And he comes up and he looks, and there's another ship behind them. And that's when Robin Wright jumps off the ship, and they have the whole
into the eel infested.
Yeah.
Into the eel infested waters.
It's just a local fisherman out for a joy cruise at night in eel infested
waters. Yes.
Yeah. And you have this whole moment where it's getting pretty tense with the eel coming right after her, and
Yeah, the
it
eels are
stops.
gigantic. It's not like a tiny eel. This thing looks like the jaw. It's the jaws of eel.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it stops, and it goes back to the grandfather and Fred Savage sitting in the room, and he says, "She doesn't die here." And he's what?
He's
And he
holding
says,
onto his coat. He's doing this, man. He's like, what?
Yeah, he's scared. And then he says, "You look worried, so I just wanted to let you know that she doesn't die here." He's, Grandpa, just tell the story. So then it comes back, and Fezzik knocks the eel out with his giant hand, gigantic.
And then you get
hand.
like the 3 trials of the. At this point, he's known as the Man in Black because a black. It's Wesley because you can see him.
Yeah,
And you have
that's the one thing you gotta
half a brain in your
you gotta
head.
suspend that a little bit for this movie because
I
it's pretty
think
obvious who it is.
like
Yeah,
if I
because
showed up,
he has the mask of Zorro, Antonio Banderas mask. Like he's Clark
yeah.
Kenting it. Like, oh, I put these glasses
If I
on.
And I
showed
heard
up and I was like, "Who am I, guys?" and I pulled this over my eyes, you'd still be like, "Get the
I'd be
hell
like,
out
"You're
of here, Matt!
Sandra
What are you
Bullock
doing?"
from that movie."
I'd be like, "What are
Blind
you
Man.
drunk?"
Oh, Bird Box.
Bird Box, yeah.
Bird
But
Children down the river.
Yeah, you get the
I
you
heard that
get
there was
him.
some contract stuff with Cary Ellis. That was one of his big problems, that his face would be covered for so much of the movie by this mask. I don't know how true that is, though. There was a lot of stuff in that one YouTube video that I saw that seemed a little sketch, so that might not be so true. Because when they all talk about the filming and everything,
Mhm.
they all talk about how they enjoyed themselves, they loved
Yeah.
filming, and this video tried to make it seem like there was a lot of negotiating going on behind the scenes. And I'm like, this seems like you're just trying to drum up a bunch of stuff. Maybe in reality they're remembering it fondly and whatever, but the only thing that I did really hear was the guy who played Fenzini. um he was really worried because apparently they had offered the role to Danny DeVito, and Danny
Oh.
DeVito had turned it down, and he was so paranoid, he was having anxiety attacks on the set, that because he thought at any time they were going to realize that they had casted the wrong person, and they were going to go and get Danny DeVito and bring him in to take over the role.
Danny DeVito was filming Batman. He couldn't do this.
Yeah.
And not only that, but Danny DeVito, I don't think delivers the same r- character, the
He would
same
deliver it
Vizzini that we know. The
different.
It's
Yeah.
the anxiousness that kind of makes Fenzini.
Yeah.
He's so
Yes.
wired, and everything he delivers is so fast and frenetic and crazy.
Yes. It's such a high strung energy from
Yeah,
Wallace Shawn. And I
yeah.
didn't know that. I didn't know that he was so concerned that he was going to be replaced at any minute, because that would
Hmm.
be awful. That would suck
Hmm.
then. Like, yeah, I love Danny. Don't get me wrong. Danny, you're wonderful, but Wallace Shawn is the choice for this.
Good choice with the Penguin there, Danny.
And he was he even talked about how it still amazes him later in life how there are shirts, there are mugs, there are posters. People come up to him all the time, and he's been in a lot of stuff. He's great in Young Sheldon. He's fantastic in Young Sheldon. He's one of
Oh
my
yeah,
favorite
yeah.
characters in that show. Um, but they still
Clueless.
come up to him, and what do they say?
You
Inconceivable.
never go up
Inconceivable.
against a Sicilian when
When
death
death
is on the line.
You keep
his
saying that word. I don't think it means what you think it
What I
means.
think it means.
Um,
His line delivery is really important. Like, I think when we first introduce him, and it's Buttercup is riding through the woods, and all of a sudden she just comes upon Inigo, Andre the Giant, sorry, Fezzik, and
Fizzy.
Fizzini, and he just kind of says, like, we're just poor circus workers looking for, is there a town nearby? And he's like, there's no one for miles. And he just explains then, like, well, then no one will hear you scream. And like, I guess that Andre the Giant then reaches up and gives her like the Vulcan grip.
Yeah.
Neck pinch.
Like,
He does the Vulcan neck pinch. Just
I
like
mean, she's
pinches that.
lucky he didn't just like pop her head clean off with the size of his hands.
Yeah, absolutely. But his choice, the way that Wallace Shawn, sorry, he's my favorite two first named actor I've ever heard, Wallace and Shawn. When he's on the boat and he's explaining, he's like trying to keep Fezzik and Inigo in line, and he's like, when I found you, you were so drunk you couldn't even buy brandy, which I don't even think like makes sense. And then it's like, you're this great thing that I just found. And it's his whole, like you said, it's that high strung energy, and it's the pitch of his voice that makes you realize, like, oh, he's supposed to be like the leader of this group, but his grip on this like whole production is like minuscule. It is hanging by a thread before they realize, like, oh, we could just easily like pop, you're done.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole thing, which I love. I love the tension of it. And I think it's really special about the character and the actor in the relationship with the story, how that holds together. It's just it's rare that it's done like that anymore. You know, like I can't think of another character that's like a Fassini or an Inigo or a Fezzik now that has the kind of growth and development like that.
Yeah.
Except maybe Steve from Stranger Things with Trey. I don't know if you've even started. Have you started that at
No.
all?
When I started, I'm
Steve,
gonna want to finish it. So
Yeah, you
yeah,
should totally watch it. It's a great show.
you should totally. Steve's character
Fi
development
fi
kind of
I will
follows
say,
that a little bit.
since we brought it up, fifth season, worst of the seasons. Still entertained. Uh, Still enjoyed myself watching it. But it's the weakest of the seasons in my opinion. There are great
Agreed.
moments, but overall, I would say it's the weakest season.
Agreed. We could do a
But then
whole
yeah, so
episode.
they hit the cliffs of insanity, which are actually the cliffs of Moher. They're actually 700-foot cliffs in Europe, but that they
Oh,
used.
really?
But Indigo keeps saying like, I think he is gaining on us. Like the ship is coming that's been chasing them, and they use Fezzik to climb this rope up the 700-foot cliffs with
carrying
yeah
all 3
of them on his back in these like special harness thing. And
Yeah.
they get to the top and they realize that the man in black is now following them up the rope and he is gaining on them still. He's closing
Inconceivable.
the gap. Yeah, inconceivable. That's where you get the famous like, you keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
What I think it means.
But then
And rather than any rebuttal there, they both just like calmly look back down the cliff. Like they don't like he
Yeah.
doesn't turn and argue with Inigo. He just like, all right.
Yeah, okay. And then they get to the top and well, they're at the top and they're trying to decide what they're going to do, and they decide to leave Inigo behind to fight him, to sword fight him, because that's Indigo's thing, is he's a sword fighter, and he spent his entire life hunting the man who killed his father when he was a child, who has 6 fingers on his right hand.
And he
And
tells Vizzini, I'm going to fight him left-handed.
yeah,
He's like, why? And he's like, because it's the only way I can be satisfied. If I use my right hand, I kill him too quickly.
dude,
Fine.
he is so good, and hit the accent, his voice is so awesome. It's almost like it's like an earworm. It stays with you
Yes, it does.
for
Mandy
days
Patinkin.
after watching the movie. Yeah, he's so good, man.
Mandy Patinkin, and he's been working well.
But he gets bored and doesn't want to wait for the man in black.
Vizzini cuts the rope.
Yeah.
And he's literally climbing the rock face, and Vizzini's like, he's gonna be tired when he gets up here, and that's not fair. And you're taking forever. And so he says, how about I throw you down the rope? And he says, I don't think I could trust you.
Yeah.
And he says, what if I give you my word as a Spaniard? And he says, I've known too many Spaniards. And he's like, okay, fair. Then he says, is there any way that I could get you to trust me? No, not that I can think of. And that's when he swears on the sword of his father,
the soul
of his father, Domingo Montoya, that you will reach the top alive. And then
throw me the rope.
Throw me the rope. Yep, I'll take that. That works.
Yeah, the way Mandy Patinkin gives you that father, my father. I mean, my father.
You get like the trials. He has to fight the Spaniard in sword fighting, which you get the funny line where they're talking about the different defenses and the different ways to fight. He's laughing the whole time that Inigo's losing initially. And he's like, why are you smiling? He's like, because I know something you don't know. And the man in black goes, what's that? He goes, I'm not left-handed. And he switches hands and immediately starts winning the fight. And he's talking to him again. And then he's like, why are you laughing? He goes, because I know something too. I'm not left-handed either. And he switches and just starts dominating the fight from there. Like, Inigo can't hold the sword because he's like, whoop.
And they really, that sword fight was really them. That the whole fight, no cuts, no, like, they fought. And they had put weeks and months of work into learning how to fence and learning how to fence with both hands so that they could pull off the I am not left-handed bit. The things that they say about the styles, it's a gripa, and like the going back and forth about which styles they're switching to and everything, that's real fencing terms, that's real sword fighting terms. The only thing, of course, that they used stunt doubles for was the acrobatics, the flipping and the twirling and all that kind of stuff.
Man, well, and then at the very end of the fight, he has him on his knees and he's like, kill me quickly. He's like, I would sooner destroy a stained glass window than an arm. He's like, but since I can't have you follow me, and he just boop, and he hits him with the back sword, he passes out. And then they're running and he's gaining on them again, and Vizzini gets mad and he's like, kill him to Fezzik. He's like, kill him your way. And he's like, great, my way. What's my way? He goes, stand behind the boulder. When his head comes into view, hit him with the rock. He's like, my way's not very sportsmanlike.
It's so funny how the thugs that Vizzini has brought along with him have so much honor about them. Because he could come around a corner and Andre the Giant could literally just take his head clean off with the thing, or Mandy Patinkin's character could have given him the rope and then cut the rope and let him fall again, but nope. They're gonna fight.
He throws like a warning rock, and he misses and it explodes against this boulder, and he looks up and Fezzik is standing there. He goes, I did that on purpose. I didn't have to miss.
I believe you.
I believe you.
I believe you.
And he's like, we put down our weapons, fight the way God intended. He's like, I can't help but think that favors you. It's not my fault. I'm the biggest and the strongest.
I don't even exercise. That's my personal favorite line. He's like, it's not my fault. I'm the biggest and the strongest. I don't even exercise.
And he basically gets him in a chokehold. And Andre's like, the problem is I haven't fought one person in so long. I'm used to fighting groups of 10 or 12 guys at a time. Yeah. Use different and as he's like explaining it to him, he passes out. He's like, well, sleep well and dream of large women.
That's the one.
I will not envy the headache you will have in the morning.
Yeah. And then you get the battle of wits where you get the line where he talks about never go against a Sicilian when death is on the line. And
then
basically
he puts the iocane powder in one of the cups.
Yeah, it's a odorless, tasteless poison, and he puts it in a wine cup in there, and he goes through this whole explanation about why,
I can't drink the wine that's in front of me, or I can't drink the wine that's in front of you because you know this and I know this and you know that.
At the very end, he goes, "Oh my God, what's that?" And he turns around and Vizzini switches the glasses and they drink, and he's like, "You chose wrong." He's like, "You only think I chose wrong. I switched someone you weren't looking." And then he's laughing and he just
keels over. So awesome.
And Buttercup is like, "How did you know?" And he's like, there was poison in both glasses. I've spent the last year developing an immunity to powder.
I have to note. So I watched this movie again in high school. So my English teacher made us read the book, and then she wanted us to watch the movie. We did this with like Jurassic Park. We did this with Princess Bride, and we did with Titanic. We read A Night to Remember, and then we watched these movies because she's like, yeah, it's fun to see the visuals. And one of the funniest things that she told me was like the way that he pointed out that like, oh, I switched glasses. The rules were that he gets to pick the glass. Like there wasn't, and it's like a subtle way to like.
But if you think about it,
stupidity on him.
Well, if you think about it, so if the wine in front of Westley is poisoned, so he puts the poison in his own glass. He switches the cups, and then when he goes to pick up the glass, he waits, and he's like, and then Wesley puts the cup up, and then he's like, okay. So he thinks that the glass that he's drinking from is the poison,
Oh, that's a good point.
Is the right glass. He's waiting for him. Then he thinks like, okay, so he drank from it, so I have the one that's clean.
Because he does do like
he dies. Yeah. And then, he thinks he's so smart. That's the whole thing is he thinks he's got this down. He's got him. And in the end, nah, he was set up for the beginning.
The whole pointing out
away from Humperdinck.
Humperdinck has been trailing them the whole time.
It's when you figure out that, he does the whole conversation about, oh, you waited a whole 20 minutes before you got engaged to another person and they fight. And then she basically tells him like, oh, you can die. And she hits him off she pushes him off.
And this also is crazy to me that Wesley is so butthurt about her like moving on. It's been 5 years. Yeah. She's not married. It's been 5 years that he's been dead. Because the Dread Pirate Roberts killed him. Like, this isn't immediately. This isn't just them hanging out. Like, he left a week ago and she just moves on. No. This man has been dead for 5 years. And what is she supposed to go the rest of her life? Like, well, yes, I had my one true love and he died and I'm just going to be a farm. And the prince gets to choose who he marries. She can't exactly say no to this dingbat of a jerk, Humperdinck. But he is apparently
Opportunity.
the greatest tracker in the world, and he can track a falcon on a cloudy day. Which, how the hell do you track a falcon?
Well,
It
which
flies.
I think it lands to like the whole idea that his whole like plot is that he's going to start a war. That he's the one who asked Vizzini
Oh yeah,
to kidnap
Yeah,
her
you
and
figure
start the
that out
war.
because he tells basically after they do the fire swamp scene, Buttercup bargains for his life. Like, if you don't hurt him,
Right.
I'll go back and marry you. And he says, okay. And as he's riding away, he goes to his right hand. He's like, as soon as we're out of eyesight, I want you to take him and put him in the pit of despair, which is like their Frankenstein dungeon.
Yeah.
And he was like,
and you
yep,
know the scene. So they do the fire swamp with the
quicksand
fire
and
blast, the lightning
the
sand, and the
giant rodent.
ROUSs, the rodents of unusual size. The rodents of
Rodent.
unusual size are fascinating because that's an actual dude inside the costume.
Yes, it is.
And it was so
He burned the
hot
guy
on the
alive.
set that in between takes, the guy would just have to lay on the ground and catch his breath and try to cool down to come back and do the work again. I mean, it sounded awful, but there's so many
Yeah.
good jokes when they're in the fire swamp about, the fire swamp's actually not that bad. Not that I would want to
Trees are
build a
quite
summer
lovely.
home. Yeah, not that I would want to build a summer home here, but uh, and he's so positive about them being there and there's a clicking before the fire pillars. We can avoid those. You found the
Yeah.
lightning sand, so we're good there. And she says, oh yes, but what about the RUSs, the rodents of unusual size? I don't believe they exist. Like, and he's
Right.
already seen and heard them. Like, he knows it's
Yes.
coming. But yeah, they end up getting caught by Humperdinck and the six-fingered man. And when Humperdinck
Played
and
by
Buttercup
Christopher Guest.
leave, yeah, uh, Christopher Guest hits Carrie Ellis on the head to knock him out. And Ellis told him, really hit me. So when he hits him with that sword, he hits him with that sword and
Oh
knocks him
shit.
out cold. And he didn't mean to do that, but he gave it a little too much gusto, and they were really worried that he had done some damage, and because he was out for a few minutes, he really knocked him out cold.
You
He
hit
was
our pretty
only
boy.
mostly dead. He
Yeah,
wasn't
he's only
all dead.
mostly dead. I think then we get the best gag in the whole movie where Carrie
Oh yeah,
Ells is taken into the pit of despair and he's unconscious. He's laying on this table, and this albino gentleman played by Mel Smith, and that's his character. That's his name, is the albino. He comes down and he starts like dabbing at his wound, and Carrie Ells slowly wakes up and he goes like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Why are you doing it?" He's like, "Where am I?" And he goes, "The pit of despair. Don't even try to get it right. There's chances to that. Like, it is the best one-line gag, and I wish there was more to talk about. Like, I wondered if that was like an intentional thing, or if that was like Mel Smith being like, what if like at first I presented as like, I'm this evil Igor kind of character, but then I just need to clear my throat and I just talk normally the whole time. And he's so calm through the whole thing, which makes it so much funnier that he's like, well, you're very brave, so you're very, you're this, and you're very strong, so you must be this. You bested a knight, you bested a giant, you must be another thing, So we're gonna kill you very slowly. And it's the line where he goes, so it's torture. Carrie L says, so it's torture it'll be. And he goes, yes, I can stand torture. And his face goes,
yeah. It is just like Trey did it, where he's shaking his face so hard that his jowls are like like back and forth.
Yes,
Yeah, because
microphone.
he's seen the torture that they're gonna bring, and you ain't make it through this, buddy.
It's such a small role, but man, it's so good. It's so rememberable.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. That's honestly what's funny when I remember like turning this movie on like AMC or TBS back in the day. This would be on just randomly, or even back at your house. I remember that's always the scene that I seem to like turn it on, and that would be happening is when he's in the pit of despair right before any of like some of the best jokes of the whole movie happens, because that's where then the Brood Squad, so Prince Humperdinck promises Buttercup that he's going to send out 4 ships in 4 directions to find the Dread Pirate Roberts. He doesn't. But he goes on to then, plan their wedding, plan the whole heist, plan the whole situation. And then he orders that the guards and the Brood Squad clear the local villages. And so that's where you then reunite with Fezzik.
Thieves.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
thieves,
to clear out the
roots.
forest
Yeah.
of thieves. Yeah.
Yes,
And
that's
my
it.
favorite. Well, so they find the drunk Indigo,
Inigo. Yeah.
and the dude's telling him to get up, and he's coming at him with his sword, and Fezzik shows up, and it's so sweet, their reunion. Fezzik just melts your heart, even as a grown man. It's like, dude, this guy is awesome. He's just so wonderful. He's so wonderful.
Gives him
But
soup, dunks his head in different things of water.
But and then they're walking because they talk about what's going on and what's happening and how the gate is guarded, because he tells them about the six-fingered man, and that renews, which we didn't cover. The six-fingered man killed Indigo's father. He had commissioned him to build a sword. When he built the sword, the guy came to him and he demanded the sword for 10 times less what it was worth.
Yeah, like a tenth
basically
of what he wanted.
20% of his promise price.
Yeah, and when his father refused, he stabbed him, and then he put big scars on Indigo's face as a reminder. And Indigo spent 20 years hunting the six-fingered man to avenge his father, and they decide that they're going to go for him, but the gate is guarded by 20 men, no, 30 men. And
30.
He asks Fezzik how many he can handle, and he says, I don't know, maybe 20. And he's like, or no, maybe 10. And he's like, oh, that leaves 20 for me. That's too many. If only we had the man in black. And so they go looking for the man in black, and you get one of the funniest Andre the Giant moments when Indigo's trying to weave his way through the people leaving the forest, and excuse me, I need to Fezzik, please, and he just goes, everybody move, and everyone parts ways, and he's like, thank you, and they just start running off into the distance. I love that part so much.
And they hear him screaming because they turn the torture machine up to 11, basically, or 50.
Yeah,
no,
the torture machine sucks years of life out of you, and the six-fingered man is all fascinated by pain and torture, and he's like writing research. He's like a scientist
he's like a
about
creepy
this.
Dr. Frankenstein.
Exactly. Yeah. He's Dr. Mengele of this movie, and Humperdinck realizes that Buttercup is never going to truly submit, and so he gets pissed. He runs to the pit of despair, goes in, and just jacks the thing up to 50. And the six-fingered man is yelling, "No, not to 50, not to 50!"
Yeah,
but and they hear him screaming, so they go out into the forest looking for him.
It's like it's a crazy like Wilhelm scream, like
it is.
It's like horrific. It sounds like boars and like pigs getting murdered. It's awful, dude. Like, and everyone hears it too. Like they cut to every single character, and everyone's just kind of like stops what they're doing. They're like, "The hell is that?
What was that?"
It's like the Kevin scream in like Home Alone, where it like echoes throughout the different places where they are.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's exactly.
But then you get they find him because they knock out the albino, and he has the moment where he's like, "Father, guide my sword," and it runs into the tree, and he's like, "Ugh," and he leans against the tree and they find the secret entrance, and he's like, "Oh, nice."
Yeah, he literally like goes to like he's so dejected that like I ask you for guidance, and it's pulling me, and it pulls me right into this stupid knot on the tree, and he goes like that, and it opens the secret door into the pit of despair. And they find him Westley, who's dead. And
mostly dead.
Well, he's dead. He's dead, as far as they know. So they take him to Miracle Max to try and bring him back, and that's one of the funniest moments of this whole movie. Just like I talked about in the beginning, Billy Crystal is on his A game as Miracle Max. This is one of the greatest characters he has ever done in a career of great characters and great roles. This is just so funny, and his wife is so underrated.
That's played by the great Carol Kane.
Yeah,
Carol Kane, dude.
she is not given enough credit for her moments of hysterical liar. Like,
Yeah.
and she comes running out, liar. Uh, yeah, he's so afraid of Humperdinck. I told you never to say that name. What name? Humperdinck, 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 Humperdinck. Like, she's just getting after him, and they're like so perfect as a couple in this movie.
I want to give just a little audio clip to our listeners who have seen that.
With all dead, there's usually only one thing that you can do.
What's that?
Go through his clothes and look for loose change. Hey! Hello in there! Hey, what's so important? What you got here that's worth living for?
True love.
True love.
True love. You heard him? You could not ask for a more noble cause than that.
Sonny, true love is the greatest thing in the world. Except for nice MLT, mutton, lettuce, and tomato sandwich when the mutton is nice and lean and the tomatoes are ripe. They're so perky. I love that.
So that's the
They're
line
so
that Billy
perky.
Billy
that.
Crystal apparently, like, when he's in public and people have like approached him about like, hey, remember this line? Like, they'll give him all kinds of stuff from like from Harry Met Sally and City Slickers and stuff like that. But he's like, the one that he loves is when people in public come up to him and goes, when the a nice MLT, when the mutton is nice and lean, it's nice and lean, and tomatoes
are ripe. So
It's perfect. Perfect.
It's so
perfect.
perky.
And it's so perky. Oh man, yeah. So Miracle Max and Carol Kane, who was like 25 or 26 when this was done. But her voice is perfect because she plays his wife, and I mean, you can't ask for a better, like, if you're going to put witch and like old hag makeup on somebody, you can't ask for a better performer.
Not a witch, I'm your wife.
Yeah,
Playing cards, and he cheated.
Liar! Liar! Liar!
Get back, witch!
I'm not a witch, I'm your wife. But after what you just said, I'm not even sure I want to be that anymore.
You can't. That's the best.
So awesome.
Oh,
So anyway,
so
they
good.
bring Westley back and they go to make a plan and all this stuff.
Yeah, it gives him
And-
a pill to bring him
gives
back
him the
from being
miracle pill.
mostly dead.
Yeah.
And so he comes
Shocker.
back and he can't move yet because and they're like, what do you mean he can't move? And Audrey Fezzik is like, he's been mostly dead all day. It's going to take a while.
And they're supposed to wait like a certain amount of time before they gave him the pill, and then the pill takes so much time to take effect, but they had to rush everything because they need to get into the castle.
Yeah.
And when,
And so-
when they're laying on the wall and they're laying out the plan for him, and he says it's
What are our assets?
they have now doubled the guard from 30 to 60 men, and they're like, look. And they lift him up. He just throws his head kind of back over the wall, all crazy. And then he's like, "It's impossible. Maybe if we."
What are our assets?
Yeah,
Your
my
brain, his
steel.
brawn, and my steel.
It can't be done. It can't be done. Yeah, it's so
They had a
ridiculous.
monkey planet. Maybe.
Look how
Yes.
huge Andre is.
It's just funny because he's like, well, if only we had a wheelbarrow. And he's like, hey, where's the wheelbarrow we had when we got the albino? And he's like, oh, it's right over here. He's like, you didn't list that. And he's like, nah, still not enough. If only we had a cloak. And Andre takes a cloak out of his thing. He's like,
Yeah,
you mean like,
well-
well, there's no. And he's like,
If only we had a
where'd you get that?
Holocaust.
He's like, at Miracle Mike's house. It fit me so good. He said I could keep it.
I love
Why do we
the
leave the
delivery.
wheelbarrow with the albino?
Yeah.
Probably with the albino.
Yes, that's exactly what I was gonna say too, Matt. Is I love this the Andre moments that are so subtle, where he says, "Where did we leave the wheelbarrow that the albino had?" And Andre just looks at him and kind of shrugs and says, "Probably with the albino." Like, so easy and so like carefree with his delivery of these lines, and they're just so funny.
They like Trojan horse their way into the castle because they put Andre in the cloak. They make him the Dread Power Roberts. And he's doing the whole, I'm the Dread Power Robert.
Yes.
Soon there are many of you here, and I am here, and soon you will not be here.
Yeah. Now?
They light him
Whoa.
on fire.
And this is
And the
while
old-
this is going on outside, the wedding is taking place with Humperdinck and Buttercup, and it is the most ridiculous part of this movie. My older brother used to constantly quote, "Marriage, marriage is what brings us together today." Like the guy's voice and the speech
Marriage,
that he uses is so funny.
marriage.
Oh
It's
my God,
Peter
there he
Cook.
is.
A
Peter
brilliant
Cook,
clergyman is
who's a
what they call him, or something like that.
brilliant British comedic actor. Man, he's so funny. But
No, but
I
his
gotta say,
character name, they call him like the brilliant clergyman or something like that.
oh really? Oh, I didn't like that. But my dad. So my dad is for those who don't know, my dad is a pastor, and throughout the years, he has been
The impressive
dared
clergyman.
to do this impression at weddings when people have asked him, for like close friends, for like people who would understand, like to turn
Yeah,
for him to come up and turn around and go, marriage, what brings us together today, and love, true love,
I'd
is
pay him.
anybody.
I'd pay him to do
I
it
give him.
at my if
I
I
And
ever
understand.
so
get
he's
married.
basically
I'd pay
having
him
to
to do it
skip
at
to
my
the
wedding.
end
Oh my gosh, I'm
because
gonna
you're
hold you to
hearing
that.
all of the screaming outside,
Yeah,
and you know.
yeah. You hear the 60 men getting uncomfortable. You hear like the of Andre the Giant, and it's just like, what is happening? But Humperdinck's like, speed it up, man and wife.
Yeah.
Say man and wife, and then so he just goes man and
Man and
wife.
Man and
And
wife.
then he
Yeah, because here
rushes him
comes
out.
Andre on a wheelbarrow. Like
And
he's
he gets
already
set on-
enormous.
And then he gets set on fire.
Yeah, light him.
But
And
the
everyone
best
just
is they
runs
get
away.
to his like captain who's holding the gate key, and he's like, and he goes, or Wesley says, "Give me the gate key," and the guy goes, "I don't have a gate key," and Inigo goes, "That's like rip his arms off," and he goes, "Oh, you mean this gate key?"
Yeah, he
I mean,
reaches
this
his thing. Oh, you mean this key?
So they let him in, and the six-fingered man has come to stop them, and he sends like 4 swordsmen to get them, and Inigo kills them. Basically, he stunts on them. Like he like
oh
stabs
yeah.
one guy behind his back, stabs another guy like by doing like a split and all this stuff, and it looks like they're gonna start fighting, and the six-fingered man turns around and sprints.
And I love
Like-
how he does it too, where he's wearing like the old timey clothes that have kind of like the flowy bottom area, and he like grabs the flowy bottom and just about faces and sprints off like down the hallway. It's so funny. It's just
So he goes
the
in and
visual
locks
of
the
him
door.
turning and running is so funny.
He runs in and he locks the door behind him, and then he goes like, "Fezzik, I need you."
He's
I can't-
throwing himself over and over again against the door.
And he has Wesley, and he's like, "I can't just leave him up by himself. He can't stand." And he's like, "Please, he's getting away."
He's getting
So
away, Fezzik.
he runs over. He's like, "Here," and he like puts him on a knight
Yeah,
armor thing,
puts
like,
his arms
like
through.
hangs him up, and he's like, "I'll be right back." And he walks over, and he's been throwing himself into this door, and Andre's just like, and the door falls
With
down.
one hand, yes.
He's
Yeah,
like, "There you
and
go."
how he turns the corner and Inigo's like winding up to run again, and he just stops him with one arm, and then just goes boom, and the door falls off its hinges and hits the ground.
And so you get the whole fight scene with the sword. My name is Inigo Montoya.
Oh, I
kill
got
my
it queued
son.
up. Hold on.
Prepare to die.
Our,
I mean,
our listeners
yeah,
deserve to
This
hear
is the
that.
most
If they've never
That's
iconic
one that-
moment of this whole movie.
So he hits him with a throwing knife when he comes in the room, and he thinks that he's just going to be able to kill him.
You killed my father. Prepare to die.
The sword fighting
My
again.
name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Hello! My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Stop! Say that!
You gotta say that. When Christopher Guest's character gets so pissed.
I
It's
noticed when I watched this
Terrible.
again, when they're talking, like when he's stabbed and he's on the floor and they're having the back and forth with each other, you can see their breath. It must have been cold as crap in
Yeah.
that room.
cold,
That had to be.
cold. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
But
That-
so then after that, you get the whole scene where Wesley actually makes it to the honeymoon suite room, and she's about to kill herself. Buttercup's about to kill herself, and he's like, "There's so few
Real
perfect
quick,
breasts in the world. It'd be a shame to
Oh yeah, sorry. But real quick, the
It'd
one
be
of
a
my
shame
favorite
to waste.
parts that's like
Oh,
goes
with the
under the
king.
radar for a lot of people is
Yeah.
when they're walking. The king, I guess, is walking her back to the honeymoon suite, and she says,
Yes.
I wanted to thank you for always being so kind to me. You were always so sweet to me." And she kisses him on the cheek, and he's like, "Oh, thank you." And she's like, "This will be the last time I will see you because I'm going to die tonight." And he's just like, "She kissed me. She kissed me,"
Yeah.
Yeah.
because he's like so
Like, he
out of it
goes,
and old.
like, "I'm gonna commit suicide," and he's like, "That'll be nice."
Yeah, that'll be
And
nice.
he like
Yeah.
walks.
She kissed me.
She
She kissed
kissed
me.
me. Yes. She kissed
Yeah.
me.
Sorry, Trey. Say that I talked over you when you were saying the killing
So
yourself line.
he gets to the honeymoon suite and she's about to kill herself with a dagger. And he's like, "There's so few perfect breasts in the world. It'd be a shame to waste yours." And she's like,
Yes.
"Oh, it's you." And then the Prince Humperdinck comes in and he's gonna
Which
kill
when
Westley. And
she
he's like,
jumps on him and he goes, "Mm."
"Yeah, gently, gently." So he comes in and they have this speech where he says, "To the death," and Wesley goes, "No, to the pain." And he's like, "I don't understand." And he talks about how he's going to systematically um dismember him.
Yeah.
Yes,
And at the
Disfigure
end
him
he's like,
nasty.
and then he's like, "And I assume now you take my ears." And he's like, "No, those you keep. And I will tell you why." And it's really he's stalling for time because he can't move.
Yeah.
And he tells him that he gets to keep his ears so that every time somebody sees him and shrieks or little kids ask what the freak is and all
Dear
that, he gets
God, what
with
is
his
that
perfect
thing?
ears, he gets to hear them. And he's like,
It's
"But you're
horrific.
bluffing." He's like, "That's true. I could be bluffing, or I've had the strength to stand this entire time." And he gets up and points the sword at him. And he's like, "Drop your sword." And the prince immediately drops his sword. Yeah,
Oh,
you
here
get
we
the
go.
waiting.
Drop your sword.
I still get chills.
Immediately he drops his sword
Yeah,
and he's like,
let it run.
"Sit in the
Let it
chair."
run. It's so funny the way he does this, the delivery of this movement.
Have a seat.
Like,
Time up.
and so
All right, that's
they're
good, man.
tying him up, and Fezzik and Inigo's coming down the hallway looking for them, and he's like,
The way,
and then
the
you
way
figure
he-
out that Wesley, yeah, and then you figure out that Wesley still isn't 100%. He's like, "I knew you were
Yeah,
bluffing," and
as
it's
soon
like,
as
"Yeah,
they
but
get him
now you're
tied,
tied to the
he
chair,
goes,
so it doesn't
he's like,
matter." Yeah,
"Whoa."
Yeah, yeah. He's like,
but
help
then you
Wesley.
hear
Why do
from
I need to
outside.
help Wesley? Because he
But
has
then
no
you hear,
strength.
yeah, you hear from
And the
outside.
guy's like, "Oh."
Inigo,
I knew it.
Inigo. He opens it. He's like, "Fezzik." He's like, "Hey, I knew that we need to get out if we ever find the lady."
Hmm.
"Hello, lady."
Oh,
He's like,
lady.
"But there they were, 4 white horses." And he's like, "Fezzik, you did something right." He goes, "Don't worry. I won't let it go to my head." And they all
Yeah, and
just
then they
jump out the
jump down and
window.
he catches
And
them.
Fezzik just catches them and puts them on a horse. Like, hip, hip,
And
hip.
the scene where Robin Wright jumps down and Andre, she had to be lowered by cables, and basically a lot of the movie he had to stand against a wooden plank that he could lean against because of his back pain.
Oh, Lord, dude. Yeah. I feel so horrible that Andre was suffering through this, but he had such high spirits. And I think so. There's several documentaries. There's one, though, that they did on the 25th that it's Carrie Ells and Robin Wright sitting across from Rob Reiner talking about the film. And they talk about how Andre was just such a loving, wonderful spirit to have on set the whole time, but that his drinking was legendary.
Yeah.
And for that scene specifically, Rob Reiner was like, yeah, so Andre, he couldn't sit on a horse, let alone get on a horse, because the horse wouldn't hold him. He was 540 something pounds. And so he said, he asked Andre, he was like, okay, he's like, so what'd you do last night? He's like, oh, I went down, had a couple, had some drinks. He's like, really, what'd you have? He's like, I had like 3 bottles of brandy, 40 beers, 12 bottles of wine. He's like, did you get drunk? He's like, no, I just got tipsy. And that's what he always told him. But like Rob Reiner was like, he definitely a couple of times was a little drunk. when coming to stage, but he was still great. He could like suck it up and like do his lines, and then like, you know, they said cut, and he would kind of like, you know, relax a little bit. But for that horse scene, they had to lower him. They hooked him up to a crane, and he had a whole pack suit on and stuff like that. And so Rob's getting ready to shoot. He's doing this whole thing, and here comes this drunk giant of a man floating into set going, "Hey boss, how's it going?" And Rob, he said it was the most like, what are we doing? Like, as a
Like this is making movies right here.
Yeah, this is it. He was like, and, you know, Andre floating in from 30 feet in the air going, "Hey boss, how's it going?" And they're hovering above the horse the whole time. So gosh, dude, just another yeah. I mean, just another reason you gotta love Andre for you know, putting up.
There's
with
a line before they jump to that Mandy Patinkin brought up as his favorite line of the whole movie, that as you get older you start to think of more and more, where they're having Carrie Ellis and Mandy Patinkin are having a conversation before they go out the window to get on the horses, and he says, "You know, I've been in the revenge business for 20 years, and now that it's over, I don't know what to do with myself." And then Wesley gives him the idea, you know, "Have you ever thought about piracy? You'd make a really good Dread Pirate Roberts." And you get this feeling like, okay, now he's got the, but that's such a powerful line. Like, I've been in the revenge business for 20 years. What do I do with myself now? Like, I've dedicated my life to this, and now it's done. Like, I feel lost in this world, and it's, you know, it's just it's a powerful thing that you don't think about when you're a kid. Like, it doesn't mean much to you.
Yeah. To give someone who his whole drive was this one thing. And like he said earlier, where he's like, "I just do this to pay the bills," which I feel like as we get older, there's a lot of things that we do just to pay the bills. But then now, once this has been fulfilled, if you had total freedom, what would that look like? And what would that be?
And then you become a
like
pirate.
You're saying, yeah, become a pirate, which is the symbol
Become the Red Pirate Roberts, yeah,
as total freedom, which is, you know, I mean, probably without the what.
And
the
I don't think we talked about
but
it, but I thought that was a really cool thing that they did, where he's supposed to be the Dread Pirate Roberts chasing them, and they have the whole conversation about how the Dread Pirate Roberts is just a name and a face. The real Dread Pirate Roberts has been retired for years, and there's been several in between the original and Westley, and every time they find a worthy replacement and they're well enough off from being the Dread Pirate Roberts, they just pass it on and move along, and another person becomes the Dread Pirate Roberts. I thought that was a really cool twist. But then they ride off into the sunset, and you get the famous kiss scene that took 6 takes to get right. There's a lot of different rumors out there about, you know, take after take after take, but they wanted to get this perfect kiss, and I think they did a great job. Like, it's such a gentle moment, but it really, yeah, exactly. And it cuts back to the grandfather and Fred Savage, and he's not going to tell him about the kissing because he complained about it earlier. And I also do want to know, when they go down the hill and before they run into the fire swamp, it cuts back to Fred Savage, who's complaining about them kissing. So they jump forward in the story. And what did you, because he flips pages. Like, how much, what are they, like, having a picnic? They're being chased by Humperdinck, who they saw on the ridge. How many pages could they fit right there? But
There's an NC-17 version of this movie that you can't. You gotta go into a little curtained back room of the Blockbuster.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
There's another version of Princess Bride out there.
It's an NC-17 version.
But then he lifted his wrist skirt and he did stuff to. Oh my God, the kids! How old are you? 11? No, we're not doing that.
Maybe when you're 15. But
maybe 50.
One thing that I saw
Maybe.
that's such like a filmmaker thing, behind the scenes thing. In the interview that I saw with Rob Reiner, he talks about this moment where they're riding away from Humperdinck's castle, and they come and they cross a bridge, and they're riding, and the camera follows them, and you get a sun flare in the lens of
Oh,
the
yeah.
camera. And this was during COVID when they got back together and they did these interviews talking about the movie to, kind of take people's minds off the insanity that we were living in. And he he still talks about how that bothers him when they watch when they or that would bother him, RIP. And uh
Yeah.
because it
Oh,
could take
man.
people out of the movie. And I almost felt like saying, like, don't worry, Rob. You got to be a real like movie head for that to really bother you. Like the
And nobody else
majority of
cared about
people
the
are
flare
not
crash.
noticing that what you're talking about. But yeah, I
The
thought that was
sun flare
interesting.
and the lens. Yeah, I honestly that makes it feel so much more just the fantastical side of it, and that this movie is so approachable because there's other like fantasy movies like we talked about on Dark Crystal, Labyrinth, Legend, which is one we need to do with Tom Cruise and Tim Curry, not Tim Curry.
Mhm.
Um
That's Jim Carrey's
and
brother, Tim.
those movies, yeah, Tim, yeah,
Yeah,
Jim
Jim
and
Carrey.
Tim, they're a duo, dynamic. But those are movies that like there was they were super fantastical, like and set, but they also kind of had this like that spooky kind of horror abstract kind of feel to them that it makes it sit well within the genre of the 80s. But this one just it's so lighthearted and so just it's upbeat, but it has its dark moments, but there's depth to it, like you're saying with Inigo, like now questioning what's the rest of his life supposed to look like, and how all those characters kind of have there's more to them than just what's being presented. I think that's what makes this movie feel so timeless,
Mhm.
and it's the reason why like my daughter looked at it and said, I know this is old. Like, I know this wasn't made like last year or something like that. She could at least tell that. But she was like, but why don't they make movies look like this now? Because
Mhm.
there's something about this that feels outside of any kind of, period. It's not,
Yeah.
you wouldn't say, oh, this is definitely the 80s and it feels super 80s,
Well, isn't it like
like David
Tarantino
Bowie and Spandex.
shoots on film? Like
He does.
there's
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
real difference in shooting on film and shooting digitally, especially now. Like I saw somebody on Instagram the other day had found or refurbished like a 1980s TV, and they put Stranger
Oh,
Things on an 80s TV, and it looked like it was right out of the 80s. Like the style in
I
which
bet
you
it
can
looks
shoot
amazing.
things. Yeah, it just looks so gritty, and everything now is so polished and so clean, and especially with the TVs that we have. I mean, it's like when you play
Yeah.
video games and you have to turn off a lot of the settings because they make everything so sharp and that it slows the game down, and it makes it harder to play online, and it gives you a disadvantage if you don't turn a lot of that crap off.
Yeah.
That's why TVs have like a gaming mode. Um,
Yeah.
but it you get these movies where it almost looks bad. Like if you see it in the theater, it looks great. Then you bring it home on your
Right.
super fancy 8K, TV, and now it looks bad because it's so crisp and so clean. It takes away from the fantasy of what you're watching almost. I think we talked
I
about this in the past
absolutely
with
like,
other movies.
well, like you rewatch like the first Harry Potter and it looks like shit. It looks like absolute garbage. When anything digital that they've had to do, like the first thing I remember is when uh the Weasleys, not the Weasleys, sorry, the oh my god, his family,
The
The
Dursleys?
Dursleys.
Dursleys, thank you.
Dursley.
Dursleys, when they escape to the little lighthouse on the middle of the island and stuff like that, and the CGI there on your wonderful 4K, 8K, whatever is out there now, it just doesn't, it takes you out of it because you're like, this would have been, honestly, you could have hand drawn animation this better than what the computers did at the time. And Quidditch, the whole Quidditch match looks awful.
Oh
So I
yeah, the
think you're right. I
Quidditch
think
match
there
is
is
rough.
the rough, dude. Yeah, which stay tuned. We'll definitely have to do like we'll have to do all the Harry Potters at some point. I think that'd be a fun summer one, like multiple episodes of Harry Potters.
It would have to
But yeah,
be.
like you said, like I think the artisticness, the expression of it, that to use film, because it creates, it's such a timeless medium that you can't argue like that, oh, this looks bad because it is bad. But when you use those practical effects, to it just sells better and it lasts longer. And I think you said it best.
It's a cool scene, but it looks really bad. It's a cool.
That's my favorite clip that we've gotten so far out of this holster.
What's that from?
What?
What's that from?
It was
That's
like
me.
4 episodes ago. He said it. Yeah, it's
No,
Tyler.
I know it's you, but like, what were you referencing?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't
remember.
But it's so relevant because
cool
it's right.
Scene, but it looks really bad.
That
using
sums it
my
perfectly.
announcer
That
voice.
summarizes it perfectly. Yeah.
It's a cool scene,
Oh, man.
but it looks really bad. So I can do it whenever I want.
Really
Sorry.
bad.
You sound like Family Guy's Asian reporter Trisha Takanawa.
I do, right? That's so bad. I do.
I'm
That's so
standing outside the Plaza Hotel because they don't allow Asians inside.
Or do your Ollie Williams weather report. AccuWeather, how's it looking out there? It's raining sideways.
Where's your umbrella? 2 miles that way. It's not out.
Can we get you anything?
Do you want this dog?
Do you want this dog? Soup. What kind? Chunky.
Well, anyway, thank you guys so much for listening. Check us out on YouTube, really any streaming platform, but YouTube would be the best because you can watch us be stupid and you can see all the clips and the references and the pictures and stuff that we look up. Please like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, comment, tell us what you want to hear, what you want us to talk about, what you want us to watch, because that's super fun for us. Yeah, we do. We take requests. We want to give you what you want. We want to talk about the things that you're nostalgic for, just the way we are. And we really appreciate you. We appreciate you listening. We appreciate people tuning in and participating and just being a part of this group, because we don't want to just be us three. We want it to be everybody that listens to feel like they have a voice and participate. And, we're down for it. We're here for it. Until next time.
I'm Matt.
Right.
And I'm Tyler. Cowbunga. And it's a cool scene, but it looks really bad.